You were drafted in the first by the Doggies?
By the Doggies at the end of 2017, and then came in. My first game was round 1 in 2018. And then 7 games later, we won a premiership.
Yeah.
So I feel like I peaked quite early in my career.
Yeah, that was...
7 games in a premiership.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
How do you remember...
Got the medallion and ring and all.
Do you remember... how was that first year doing that?
Oh, it was an absolute whirlwind for me. My first game of senior football was round 1 of AFLW level. And it was a steep learning curve just from coming from netball, crossing over.
That team was very good as well.
It was a stacked
So that's
team.
Katie Brennan and who else is in that team?
Carney.
Katie, Carney,
Birch?
Ellie, Mon,
Libby in
Libby.
it? Yeah.
We had Asta O'Connor. We had
everyone.
Yes.
Jenna Bruton, probably the most
Yeah.
underrated player in AFLW, but was probably one of the most underrated players we had in that side. So 100% a stacked team, and I think the coach at the time, Paul Groves, he definitely coached to the level of what that team was and could comprehend a really solid game plan. And for the likes of me, a couple other cross-coders, we were able to kind of come in and fill the holes that needed to and just came in and played the role that we needed to play.
Yeah.
And I hope that then helped us get to where we got to. But it was a very exciting start to my career, a steep learning curve, just from playing the game in general. But had a ball of a year that. Yeah.
Money. I have a follow-up question to that, but please jump in at any moment with anything.
You keep going.
In that, I remember in the first few seasons of W, there were some teams who were actively flooding quite hard because their team wasn't up to it, and there was a lot of criticism about certain teams not being just ruining the aesthetic of the game. I'm not
Drag
going
'em.
I'm not going to name the team.
Yep.
But they ended up, I think, sacking the coach because it was they wouldn't. There was that's anyway. I don't know, Carlton, what was the game style of the Bulldogs that early on, and was it run and play? Do you remember? Or
Nothing to do with the Carlton comment.
but no, because they were ruining it looked awful.
Okay.
But if a team was full of absolute guns, was it more of a run and play, or was it a?
I could sit here and I think you could talk to nearly anyone who was on the list at the time. Grovesy coached us in a way that it was very clear of what our game plan was, and going into every game, we knew what we needed to do and what we were trying to execute. And when we played that, we were most likely successful, and we gained a lot of trust in that as the season went on. And I think just because of the high level of IQ that we had in that football team, it was easy to put in plays that teams are probably doing now.
Yeah.
That
quite quickly. Yeah.
Quite quickly, just because of the caliber of players. And we were really clear on how we wanted to progress the football up the field from a D50 transition to our forward 50. We knew when we wanted to play fast. We knew when we were going to play a bit slower. Particularly with the women's game, we're combating wind and, the conditions. So it's all right, what's the fast side of the ground? What's the slow side of the ground? So we were just very clear on what we needed to execute in that season, and then we just had superstars everywhere around the ground that were able to do that. I think probably we had lots of injuries though that season, Izzy Huntington went down, Daria Bannister went down, KB ended up going down but then came back.
That's right.
And then missed the grand final anyway.
Yeah.
And it was just we actually had a lot of hardship within our season, but we were able to just kind of stick true to what we were doing, and ultimately in the end we were able to get it over the line. Yeah. So it was a very special feeling I felt being a part of that team. Everyone had mad respect for each other. Didn't necessarily have to everyone be best friends, but it's that mad level of respect, and everyone just went out and did what they needed to do. And there's a lot of just love and special feelings within that team.
Are you still close with them all?
Yeah, I'm close with a lot of that team's nearly all around the competition to be fair now.
It's spread out.
Yeah.
The movement's crazy, yeah.
Was it hard having that dissipated in the years that followed?
It literally was within the next 2 years before I left. I think we got Doggies, poor things, been I think blooded every year with talent, which is a credit to the program that they're running and the people that they're drafting and getting in, that they're able to keep developing and then see opportunities elsewhere.
Yep.
But it was hard at the time, definitely being you knew what we had And then I think Geelong and North came in the following years, and we lost, Emma Carney, Jenna, Asta went to Geelong. So it's kind of like they're key people within that team. And then, obviously the following year, Katie, Mon, like it just was, it was never ending, it felt like. And then we had one steady year, and then Essendon. Oops, sorry.
Speaking of which, then you went to
Off I
Essendon.
went.